Since this is still not officially launched and you are one of the few lucky ones to view such an early review, the diameter is 35mm as expected. If you want me to prepare a detailed side-by-side comparison video for these two sizes, please write down below so I can happily do it. Okay guys, as I promised on my previous video, here is the comparison of the brand new 35mm Tissot PRX versus the 40mm one. I had the bigger one in blue for well over a year now, and this little brother is the freshly announced 35mm one. These two look very identical, but I think there are significant differences which may help you to choose the right one for yourself. We will move on step by step. First, let's take a look at the obvious size differences. The new one has 35mm width, whereas the old one was 40mm. The thickness is exactly the same on both watches. The length of the larger one was 51mm, and honestly, it was wearing not like a 40mm watch but a 42 one. The length on the new one is 44.4mm. And this, I believe, is more like a 37 or 38mm watch. As far as I see, the crown is the only part of both watches which is totally identical. Same size, same shape. Of course, it looks larger on the smaller case due to the proportions, but I feel like it is still great. The case shape and style is the same, both brushed on the sides and top with nicely polished chamfers. But since the large one has larger plain surfaces, it shows more of the nicely done brushed workmanship. That's the very first thing I realized. Both have open caseback designs, same movement, but due to the size, obviously the smaller one has a thinner frame and smaller caseback. Also, both watches have a 100-meter water resistance for your reference. Before we jump into the bracelet, where I believe there are significant differences, I would like to welcome you guys at the Watch Loop. Hi, my name is Erk, and I'm just a watch geek like yourself. I'm not a watch dealer, nor a professional YouTuber who's trying to sell you something. And no, this video is not sponsored by Squarespace, and definitely not sponsored by Skillshare or whatever. Just me and you. This is a brand new channel, and if you have ever needed a watch loop to review some decent watch, this is it. You may now consider subscribing to the Watch Loop channel. Anyway, let's move on to the video. Now to the bracelet. The large one starts at 26mm at the case and tapers down to 18mm at the clasp. PRX 35 starts at 24 and goes down to 16mm. I must say, the proportion looks much better on the smaller one. Feels much more elegant. However, it somewhat feels a little cheaper and flimsy than the larger one. At first I thought the thickness was changed, but I measured to find that they are exactly the same. This is probably due to the physics. Larger links are more denser, and of course the larger bracelet is heavier, which feels more sturdy. The narrower links feel a little weak or flimsy, but again, this is purely subjective. You may like it more. My wrist is 19.5 centimeters and I did not remove a single link from this little one. So Tissot also guessed that no one over 20 centimeters would buy this one. Not enough links here. Bear this in mind. If you have a larger wrist and still want one of these small ones, you may end up buying some extra links. Both watches have the same sapphire crystal as expected. The dial pattern and indices are all the same. The hands are also the same, but since the thickness of the hands is identical, it looks much more bold on the small one. And this looks better in my opinion. Again, the proportion feels better and also better readability. So guys, what's your wrist size and which one would you prefer for yourself? Please write below so we can have a mini poll here. I really wonder about your opinions, and if you still didn't watch my previous video, which is the full review of the new 35mm version, you can do it right now by clicking here. Please also don't forget to click here and subscribe to this new channel. Cheers mates, I'll see you soon, very soon.